So, as an update, we were really trying hard to use the existing plaster and recover these corners, but it's not clean enough for us. We don't like it. So, so we need to make some repairs to the blown plaster. And unfortunately, the material, we've got this like block, some really hard stone in, and then above the block there's this soft, very loose, sort of dry sand mix, which I've taken out. Try and recreate the corners and then leave that to dry, and then plaster over that. So that's what we're going to try to do. We're cladding instead with plasterboard, so we've done that wall. So this lounge will be completely plasterboarded over, and we're now just taking, we've just taken that radiator off over there. That's going, and we're now just taking off this massive run of panels, and if you remember, we're cutting those down to the same level as these ones here, so it'll be continuous, even though the pattern's different. Loom here goes up into that junction box, and obviously that originally sat on a wall that we've removed. So there's a combination of live feeds which we need to just continue. So the idea is to terminate them in that junction box and then extend this loom so it goes into that void and then up the wall there that's already chased out, and then up into that void and then back into the junction box. And this has been isolated, so we're okay. We've got a two-way light switch, and that controls the ceiling light in here and also these spotlights. So we want to put another 2 spotlights on this wall and this wall. So that's just a case of replacing these existing spotlight feeds, which came down on this smaller wall here, terminate them in that junction box and extend them with fresh cable all the way along there, chase down the wall into the same, and from that junction box there, chase all the way into the wall. Are you Institute of Electrical Engineers approved? Are you norm registered? Is this to the French norm standards?
I'm mental registered.
Okay. And that faceplate comes... Oh no, there's 2 more in the centre there.
How much do I get paid?
Well, you get paid the standard apprenticeship electrician's rate.
When can I start my holiday?
Yeah, today.
Can I?
Yeah.
Can I have 6 weeks?
You get 8 weeks off from this
8
firm.
weeks?
8 weeks unpaid.
What?
Yes, I'm afraid so. 8 weeks unpaid. Obviously the electrics are isolated, aren't they?
No, I didn't turn them off to jail.
Hi, honey.
Hello, hero.
Hero? Not hero.
Why, so you are? You are, aren't you?
Yeah.
But now, doing all this spaghetti junction up here.
The problem we have is that this moulding with one big panel is obviously completely different to the other panelling here. So what I've done is I've just taken this piece of MDF and then drawn on here the profile of the other smaller panelling. So we've got the skirting board there, a little bit of aquatrave on top, then a gap, and then the panel starts here, ends here, and there's a gap, and then there's this OG rail, whatever it is, at the top with a little thin strip just to finish it off. So the only way we can really do this is to place the panel, this existing panel, in the center of our new shortened paneling, because it has to be this height here by the bottom of that MDF. So we're not going to be able to have the same size skirting board, because that's the skirting board, so it will take us into this new, or the existing panel. So we're going to have to do one length cut across all of these panels here. So we're going to have to take the leg off and take a section off all the way along. And then we're going to have to do the same at the top. We're going to have to take a cut all the way along the top. And then to make sure that our panel is in the center of our panel, obviously it would hit the floor here. And then our new rail would come along. Our new rail would be at that height, and then we're going to have to take another length cut of all the existing skirting board down to this size here, so it's a much smaller skirting, so that then if we line that line up there, it should be, I have to do my measurements accurately, but what we're aiming for is that distance from the top of the skirting board to the bottom of the new panel has got to be the same as from the top of the panel to the trim. And for those purists, and I hate doing this myself, this is oak, solid oak paneling, absolutely sacrilege to paint it, but it's going to look odd if we don't. So I'm breaking all my own rules. I hate painting hardwood. It's a wicked waste, especially when something like this could be made of MDF now. But anyway, there we are. We're going to paint it. You know, this is already being painted, so it doesn't make me feel as bad. But we need to match it, so it'll all be white, gloss white at the bottom. So the job now is to do the mammoth task of length cuts. So this is our new height. I've just popped the top rail. That's come off earlier on. That's just going back on there for a guide. What I want to do now is that distance from here to here. We need to duplicate from here to here, and then that will show us what width we want to cut the skirting board down, so the skirting board terminates and leaves the same gap top and bottom of the panel, so the panel is central. Okay, just a quick update for you. We've had to plasterboard the whole of this room. We had problems with the wall and the plaster and the door reveals, and so regrettably the last few days has been battering up and replastering, but now we're at a stage where we're almost ready to put the undercoat on. I've just got to put the coving up and also the trim. We're putting a trim up just at that level there on the red line, if you can see it. And I didn't finish the plasterboard to the ceiling because we've got quite a deep set coving going in. Okay, so we've just put up some coving. It needs to be caulked and all finished off, but we wanted to bring the rooms together, so give something for the eye to follow. So that wraps all the way around into this corner here. And Miss Anna here is doing a Da Vinci bit, painting the ceiling, doing a fantastic job. What are you up to? Doing the detail bits, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm just zooming in on that. God, that is intricate, isn't it?
Yeah, don't zoom in to see all the unintricacies, please.
It's good. It's very good.
Don't zoom too much.
It's very good. So the next job is we've just got to put some deep coving up now, all the way around here. And obviously won't happen at this end. And then we're thinking about colour on the wall. I didn't know you were doing that. I was just trying to work out, because look at the profile, look how deep it is. And when we do our miters in a corner here, we haven't got a chop saw big enough to do it. So I'm thinking the best thing to do is to mark where this one finishes on this wall, and then you mark where that one finishes on that wall, which is just there. You then offer this up and mark it there. You take that line there down to the base, or just in from the base, that line up there, and at a 45-degree angle as well, and that should give us the distance out and the cut. So let's do one, let's see what it looks like. It might not work. No makeup. So it's, what time is it?
About 11:15.
It's 11:15. And we've just finished mammoth day today. Let's have a quick look where we are. So we've got all of that dado rail or picture rail up. It goes all the way around, and what we wanted to do was tie in these two rooms, didn't we, Miss Anna?
Yeah.
And it takes the eye over the rooms. So we've done that today, and we've also done the coving in this side of this room. So it's not had any paint yet, so it's covered in all my nasty fingerprints and things, but you can see the coving is up. And stop hiding. That's really happy with that. And that kind of terminates just here at the meeting point of this room and this room. So I'm not very happy about that detail where it meets there. It's a little bit lower than I wanted. I should have brought that box down. I measured it wrong. Anyway, we are where we are. And then Miss Anna's beautiful artwork today, painting of that, which was terribly complicated, wasn't it? And you've got arm ache as a result.
Dead arm.
Dead arm. Miss Anna's dead arm.
This one.
It went all pins and needles and then lost use of it, and
yeah, but I'll be okay.
And she's genuinely ambidextrous.
Yeah.
Aren't I lucky?
No, that's left-handed.
Is it? Dominant hand. The other thing we've done is we've put the new ceiling rows up. Obviously all this is a new ceiling. It's our first ceiling. So if you remember, originally it was just pine board and beams, which just didn't feel right in this house.
It was very dark in there.
And most recently, yeah, it was very dark. So we've got that up. That was a bargain from eBay. It comes from China, but
without coronavirus.
Without coronavirus, and already painted. So what have we got to do? Tomorrow we've got to put the alcatraz around the fresh plaster on this door. We've got to do the alcatraz on that door line. We've got to finish off the detailing here around this door, where we've got to put in the power socket. So I'm going to put some timber in there and run all the sockets at that end there. These corners have been done, just need some paint, and then a little bit of trim down the side. Oh, where are we? Go reverse. Just down here and down the other side. And yeah, more panelling around here, more panelling around there. And then I think we're kind of, all the hard work is done, isn't it? So it's just, oh look, you're in my arm, look. So it's just decorating then. Finish off the decorating, white carpets, paint loads of gloss white. We're going for a sagey green, a light green.
Yeah, sage green.
And then a white gloss panel, white gloss doors, bit of gold maybe.
Lots of gold all over.
Lots of gold. So that's it, guys. We're signing off. I'm going to jump in the shower.
I've had my bath. I've got my house coat on.
You're comfy.
Yeah.
See you guys. And just starting to put some undercoat on. Let's just go around quickly. You can see the old one finished here. So I had to extend it to take in where the wall used to sit there. So that's just softwood blended in. And then I've returned it around this door here with some panelling that we had spare to give it a return, and then continued the dado rail and the skirting board. And done a similar job on the other side there, but I've done that one in plasterboard to see how that comes out. And then we've got all of the panelling is done. It's just been filled. So all the nail holes have been filled there, and all of the joints have been caulked. And the other job, we've just finished the final fit electric. So we've got a socket there, one on that wall, and then 3 on this wall, and then the existing 2 over behind that door, and another one there. So this. Okay, quick update. We've done the doors and the door furniture has been done, and all the surrounds have had 3 coats of gloss and all the gaps have been caulked. The lower panelling, that's all had 3 coats of gloss. This side went better because it was already a creamy white. And you can see we've started to cut in the green around just underneath the rail there and above the panelling. On this side, I don't know if you remember this joint here, this was a nightmare, this door. This area here was all the plaster had all blown and we just couldn't get a profile back, so we've had to replaster all of the walls, and in doing so it's meant that we've had to recreate those corners. So actually, if you see the floor there, that's where the wall used to come up there. So the panelling actually finished there, so we butted on just a plain piece of timber and then run the sockets, which used to be on this wall here when this wall was here. Those sockets used to be there. They're now routed underneath and then chased out, and they appear there now. Same on this side, there was a power socket on the inside of that wall, and that's now gone up the back and it feeds that socket, and then we've taken another socket from that one, so that line is 2.5 mil cable. It's only got 2 sockets off it, so that's fine. Electrics are done on this side. Same again here. The panelling finished here, and exactly the same. Had to mate a piece, get it flush, continue the trim through so it pleases the eye a little bit more, and that's in. Miss Anna has done a beautiful job of that ceiling rose, so that's in. And then on our other ceiling, we've got that rose, which we've found quite cheaply. That's gone up. And then today I've just been finishing, just putting the trim around this door here. What they'd done originally was they had concrete openings, which they then clad in timber, and the timber's moved around over the years. The concrete's obviously stayed stable, so we've had terrible trouble with getting gaps aligned and stuff. But actually the frame used to continue all the way up to the beamed ceiling. So what I've done is I've just extended the coving right across the top and created a new door opening. So we're going to keep those doors. Actually, those ones we're going to put a high quality yacht varnish on those doors there and have the frames in gloss white, because I think white and like a mahogany varnish stain looks lovely. And the same with this door here. This door here is going to have a beautiful stain put on it. Returned the panelling into the door openings. Obviously this is part of the panel that used to come over on this wall here, so that's allowed us to return it around. And the same on this side. This panelling used to be in here, and if you remember, originally the panelling was this high originally, all the way in the wall. That's the original line of the panelling, which I've kept in this opening. It didn't look too bad. Let me get out of the sun. There we go. So it's only got its primer on at the moment. So it used to be this high. So if you remember, we've had the mammoth job of cutting the panelling down. So actually what we've done is we've got that section out of the panelling, and then that now creates the same height as the other end. Skirting boards starting to be cut. That's going to go on last, hence why it's not painted all the way to the bottom. So that's got to be done. The fireplace is beautiful. That's done. That's just going to need a little bit more touching up, and we're done. This radiator is going to need to be repainted in matte black, and that's got to go back up on the wall. And this one here I've just capped. Now the brickos are open. Cap that, and then disastrously, these are steel on steel fittings. The steel fitting that's screwed into that joint there has rusted away, and it broke on the it broke on the collar there. So I'm going to have to drill that out and then re-tap a new thread in there. So I'm not looking forward to that. So anyway, that's a quick update. I'm now going to get on with just finishing some green, getting the first coat of green up and seeing what that looks like.